ready?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I guess we're here now. Here we are.
Apparently, because when I actually clicked on it that time,
It
now it started
actually
playing. I
worked.
immediately click off of. How's everybody doing?
Okay.
Welcome to the February wrap
We
up.
are so sorry. Sean is not in the dungeon. That has nothing to do with why this is all fucked up. But
Yeah, I
yeah.
definitely didn't jinx it. I didn't jinx it.
No, you didn't. But we're here and
How's
we're
everybody doing?
live finally fucking 14 minutes later, so we apologize. But we skipped the whole intro, so you don't have to wait. We're here.
Well, anybody watching it live, it's only really 4 minutes if you want to get technical, then
Well,
Joe.
actually, yes, you're actually correct. So I take that back. Yeah, it feels so weird that you're not sitting next to me. So I've gotten so used to
Yeah.
being together. And it was funny because when we first started doing these, we were always separate. So
Yeah.
I miss
I think
you.
I did one. We did one like I miss you too, man. We did one like this last year. Just had a ton going on today, man, and
Yeah.
hence the separation here.
Yeah, it's been a long 3 weeks. We did our live watch along last night of Don't Be a Menace to South Central while you're drinking your juice in the hood. And we talked a
That was
little
a
bit about
blast.
that for our patrons that were hanging out last night. So we'll get into some of that stuff and how it's just been nuts. But we've been fucking kicking some fucking ass, I'll tell you that much. Bringing it fast and hard. But this month was a blast. We kicked it off. We're in season 6 finally. Here it is.
You just said that, and I know that,
Yeah, and I'm just
obviously,
like,
but I'm like, holy shit, because this first fucking 2 months of the year, even though we took off January, if you want to refer to it that way, as far as release and stuff, at least, I feel like I just lived like 6 months already, man. These
right?
last two feel like six.
Oh my god, between like work and like doing the movie dumpster stuff, I'm just like, But
Yeah, I
but
wonder if anybody at home watching has a similar feeling, for better
yeah.
or worse.
Well, it's been a whirlwind already, and we still have the entire year to go.
Not a bad thing, not a bad
Yeah.
thing, but
No, yeah. So okay, so before we get into like the
yes.
talking about February and stuff and getting back on the horse or the saddle or the dumpster lid, if you will, surfing it like a fucking pizza pie like Munchie. I
Oh
forgot
God.
I forgot to mention a couple things on our year-end wrap up of 2022. Um because
Oh yeah.
we had done I had done a couple cool things with Mr. Lobo and Cinema Insomnia and Pat Farmer and Kings of Horror, and we did I was on Mr. Lobo's Christmas special as Francois Fly. I don't know if y'all saw that, but I just wanted to say that I had a really fun time and I love working with them, and that was a blast. And you can check it out in our Movie Dumpster and Friends playlist, and of course hanging out with Pat and Shelby for Kings of Horror. They did Metal Beast, and I did
Oh,
some
that was awesome.
I did some stuff for them for their watch along for the their New Year's bash. So I just wanted to mention that because I remember we forgot to mention it. The other
Mm,
thing is something that nobody's asked about, but I'm going to tell it anyway. From when we did the one
okay.
chip challenge, I kept teasing everybody with that
Oh
story, and I
yeah.
never told the fucking story.
Oh, sorry, I'm laughing. I know what
No,
happened. It's not really that funny,
you're
but
totally good. So I want to tell that story real quick. So we did the one chip challenge. We did Halloween Ends review, and we took the one chip, and it was fine. It was really fucking hot, but like we got through it. That night, Sean leaves, and I'm going to bed, and it's like by the time we were done recording that and getting into bed, I was like 1:45 ish, or like 2, somewhere 1:30. So I'm in bed, and we put on a movie, and I'm laying there like, fuck, like, oh man, I'm starting to burn, and I had some Pepto Bismol, a couple of that,
some.
yeah, try like 3 or 4, and I was like, man, that must have been really fucking hot. I took like a bunch of Pepto Bismol, so I'm laying in bed, and I try to lay down, and all of a sudden, this like crippling pain shoots through my entire body, and it feels like someone is shoving a hot poker into my stomach, like literally sitting there and jabbing it, like so bad. I'm like this. I'm so fucked up. So I run into the bathroom and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I really don't want to puke because that would be bad news. And I'm not looking forward to either end of it coming out of me. But I really didn't want to throw up because that would have, like, my esophagus would have just been like shot to shit.
Oh yeah.
So I drink a little bit of water, drink some more Pepto. I'm like, whew, all right, pass. I'm fine. Not but 5 minutes later, I am it's coursing through my veins and my whole body. I'm ripping my fucking clothes off. I'm sweating. My whole body is drenched in sweat. I'm naked on my bathroom floor, just like in a fetal position, trying to like press my stomach and like because it's hurting so bad. I end up like doing one of these jobs on the. So my wife comes in. I look like I'm being fucking possessed by something because I'm fucking naked on the bathroom floor, like with my back arched, like contorting and shit and screaming. And she's like, "What's wrong?" I'm the fucking chip. I was like, I don't know. And I was like, this never happened before. And I'm like, shit, can I not eat hot stuff anymore? Turns out, at the time, we were like dieting, so we weren't like eating a lot of stuff. And I had eaten something for dinner, but it wasn't a very big meal. And by the time we started recording, it was all digested, I guess. So it was like eating the hottest thing you've ever eaten on an empty stomach. And it just destroyed my insides. And each time the feeling passed, it's because the chip and the hot shit moved to another portion of my intestine, and then it burned all over again. It was like dying 7 times before it hit the bottom. So my wife went out. She bought like 3 fucking things of like extra strength Pepto Bismol, a gallon of milk, and peanut butter. And I'm sitting on the floor like eating peanut butter off a spoon and like drinking milk on the side. I'm all fucking and I'm dying. It took like 20 minutes for it to subside, but it was fine. And then I went to bed and that was it. But it was like it was the worst. It was some of the worst. Plus, I was exhausted. Right? It's like 3 in the fucking morning at this point.
Shit.
It was horrible. But I'm fine. I'm here. Here I am. I won't ever do that again on an empty stomach.
Speaking of shit, that's all I really had to do, and I went right to bed. I was fine.
Well, I was like, call Sean. I was like, call Sean. How's he doing? And Sean's like, I'm fine, man. Everything's cool. And I'm like, oh, because he had like just eaten something before he came over and recorded. I
Well, that's
think.
true. That is
Yeah.
true. I mean, it was
So
like a Whopper, so maybe
yeah,
not the best thing, but cleared me out.
yeah, but like I
And
I had nothing in there.
we should start going down the chat in a
Yeah.
second, but I
Sorry.
just
Yeah.
specifically Berserk. Yeah, it is a nice backdrop, right?
What? Oh, Sean's?
It's my room. Who cares?
It's
Whatever.
it's it's
That's what I
beautiful.
got.
What are you talking about? It is
This
what it
door
is.
really it's made out of some beautiful wood. I
It
tell you,
it it is. Mahogany. I would say you got a little
it's definitely
teak
not
or
teak. It's
it's
definitely
definitely
not
not teak.
teak.
Oh, okay. Little walnut, you think? Little cherry wood, maybe. Did Tony drop $10 in this fucking chat?
Yeah. Did you ever read what it said?
No, hold on. The super chat thing, right? I don't see it. What does it say? Read it to me.
He said he is very famous.
That's it. Was that
Something
was
to
that a
that effect.
was that a
Yes.
fucking power move? I love you,
I
Tony.
don't know. Seems like it. Seems like it.
All right, so I wanted to get that out of the way. Thank you, Tony, and that's my one chip challenge story. And I wanted to thank Lobo again and Pat Farmer and Kings of Horror and Cinema Insomnia. But who do let's run this down. We got Gil DaCosta, What's Cooking, RJ Godzilla, Ty the Blockbuster Guy, Johnny Browning, Daniel Belcher, Two Peas on a podcast, Two Peas on a Podcast. There you go. What's up? Dissect That Film. What's up, guys? Who get James Johnson, Gory Tiger.
Daniel Belcher, Colin LaShore.
Yeah, there you go.
Tommy Cruise.
Nacho Diablo's in there, man. What's cooking? RJ Godzilla, I think. James Johnson, what's going on?
Alphador,
what's cooking? Trident the Fan.
Gil DaCosta.
Yeah, Trident the Fan is in there. Mike Kling, Berserk 81. Fior, what's going on, dude?
RJ Godzilla 81. How you doing, man? James, how you doing?
Nightmare Nemo. Galen Molina. And Tom Cruise. What's up? What's up, everybody?
If we missed you, we love you.
If we missed you, we love you. So, Megon 32, what's cooking? Okay, we're all caught up. Here we go. Yeah. So what's going on, Sean? What have we done this month already?
Oh man. I know it's a lot. Like I said, I got to think about it for half a second.
It has
we did a
been
lot of talks from the dark side. I know that.
We've been fucking very good about putting those out, and we still have a couple in the can. We're not putting one out next week because I guess we'll talk about that first. So like the past 3 weeks have been like crazy with like work and stuff. and I'm talking like pulling like all day and all night, going to bed at 3, getting up at 9, and doing it all over for 2 fucking weeks, no fucking weekends. I did see Ant-Man, but we'll get to that in a second. Um, and just like taking up all the time, and then doing movie dumpster too. So the schedule kind of got a little goofy, but not too bad. We're good. We just needed to
Mm.
push talks back 1 week, because we got that Shin Ultraman review. So we're gonna replace talks Tuesday this week with Shin Ultraman Ripe review for you, and then we'll get right back to talks the next week. Because we still got two. We got two in the pocket, and we got to film some more with Chris. And yeah,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
yeah, I mean, so we did some Rudy Ray Moore this month. Again, we got some Disco
Yeah.
Godfather cooking up. We did Tales from the Hood, which was really fun to do.
Oh man, that was a great film.
Yeah.
Disco
Um
Godfather, good, but like I said in the review, probably one of my least favorite of the Rudy Ray Moore quadrilogy or whatever you want to refer to it as.
the Ruby Ray, is that like the Alien quadrilogy? Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
Dolomite Quantumanium, obviously.
I would love to see that, dude. Petey Wheatstraw, Dolomite, and Disco Godfather. They all like come from different timelines and have to like I don't know
Honestly,
what.
I'd rather see the Dolomite Spider-Verse movie, all 4 versions in the movie together, helping each other kick ass.
Oh, I would love that. They got to fight Wesley Snipes though, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he's
and
the yeah.
Leroy and Skillet, of course.
Of course, yeah. Um, yeah. We did that New Jack City commentary track, and we did that
Yes,
Bones
another great
mini
movie.
too. Yeah. So
A lot of great stuff.
yeah, everything's kind of bunching up towards the end, but it is what it is. We're back on track again. We're recording tomorrow. And we got some good stuff coming up for March. We got a episode coming up with Tony from Hack the Movies. We're going to be on Hack the Movies for
Yeah.
a St. Patty's Day special. His St. Patty's Day special. Then we're doing our own St. Patty's Day special with Dustin Elkins from the Flicks and Friends podcast.
Woo!
And then we're having Jennifer Fire on to do Thriller. Did we talk about this yet? No, we talked about this on Patreon last night. I guess we could talk. Yeah,
Yes,
you want to just
yes. Yeah, Thriller,
come
a
right
cruel
out?
picture.
Yeah, Thriller, a cool picture.
Uh,
Frigg is coming to town. Christina Lindbergh's coming. They call her
what a
One Eye.
movie!
Yeah. So
That's going to be really fun to talk about. So stay tuned for that.
yeah.
I
So
guess I don't
so
know.
we're gonna have a blast with that. No, I mean it's such a we'll talk about it on the review, but like it's such an influential
Sure.
movie, especially for like Quentin Tarantino and stuff, and how that's kind of weaved its way through his filmography and in just like exploitation films in general, and how and
Yeah.
revenge films in general. It's like fucking top tier. But
You
we
want?
all watched the original Swedish language version with all the hardcore scenes in. So that is the version we'll be reviewing. But we will talk about They Call Her One Eye and the release of that and the changes that were made and shit like that. So the
Uh,
histories.
exactly. Do you
Yeah.
want to talk about Patreon now? You want to talk about that later? What are you thinking?
Woo, what about it?
What we got coming? That's all.
Oh yeah, we could talk about what we got coming
Sure.
if
So
you
the
want.
commentary track.
We usually we usually wait till the end for that, but like I don't know, it's fine. Let it
Yeah,
go.
let's
Here
mix
we
it
go.
up. Let's mix it up a little.
Organic.
Yeah, we're gonna do a commentary track this month for $5 and $10 tiers on another, I would say, St. Patty's Day classic, Joe.
Um, it's my favorite Leprechaun movie. Is it your favorite Leprechaun?
We'll find out.
We'll
It's gonna
find
be
out.
our Leprechaun 2 commentary track.
Leprechaun
We
2
did
is
Leprechaun
coming
1
at you.
last year.
Yeah.
So now we're doing 2.
I think I'm very excited. I'm even more excited too because it's not only does it have the wonderful Lubden in it, our leprechaun friend himself, who's friends with P-Head and Cumdar and Corpsefucker and all them, and hanging out in the
he's,
well.
a friend indeed, or what? Oh, fuck that
A
lineup. A
friend
friend with
with
weed is a
weed's
friend indeed. So.
But a friend with gold is better, I'm told. Anyway, there's also somebody else in Leprechaun 2. One of the stars of Leprechaun 2 is also in Tammy and the T-Rex.
Oh
So there's
my
a nice
God.
little crossover there.
Do we have anything? I know we have other stuff coming.
We're gonna
I
be
guess
doing a watch, and we're gonna be doing a watch along of Coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Next month as
Right,
well.
right,
So
right.
that'll be good. The Pam Grier Classic. That's gonna be a
Oh.
fucking blast to watch with everybody.
We're also going to be doing a ripe review with speaking of Tony from Hack the Movies.
Yes. We're gonna be doing
you take this one.
the Cocaine Bear. we're gonna be going to see that. We're gonna be doing Cocaine Bear with Tony. And we might have a couple ripe reviews this month. I got to look at the schedule. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, because there's another movie that do you want to talk about that, or do you want to hold the?
Let's hold that one in pocket.
Okay, okay.
Give him a little something to chew on
Sure,
or to
sure,
think about, be
absolutely.
surprised about.
No, yeah. And then,
Um,
like Joe was saying earlier, of course, talks will be coming back too. So
yeah, talks will be
got
back.
a
Everything
lot
will be
coming
back.
at you.
Yeah. But yeah, what? I'm just looking at the chat real quick.
Mm. Lo Wang, will we ever do Johnny Mnemonic? Maybe I'm not opposed to that.
eh,
Not on the docket, but
it's
maybe in a year or two.
definitely low on the list.
Yes, I
But
do
yeah,
kind of enjoy that film.
trying to look at all of the chats.
Daniel Belcher saying Leprechaun versus Leprechaun. We're talking. Is this Lubden or is this Lucky?
Or it
Lucky's
could be
getting his munchies.
Giant Lubden from Leprechaun 4 versus the T-Rex. I'd like to see that.
He's going full King Kong in that son bitch. He'd probably just blow his stomach out. Honestly, would not even try.
Oh yeah. Oh, Johnny, you're just reminding us too. Yeah, we'll have a junk mail out soon too. It was supposed to come
Yeah.
out. That's the one. That's the other thing that was supposed to come out for February, but it's pushed back a little bit, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Johnny, I did
Daniel,
get what you sent, or we did get what you sent in that, and a few
we
other
did,
people specifically.
we did. Johnny knew we got it, but we did it on the junk mail too. So
Okay.
it was very nice, and we wanted to include that in there.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, Billy
Con.
Mount, the Asylum version of Cocaine Bear is fucking called Meth Gator.
Oh my God, yeah, I think isn't Culture Shock putting that out?
Oh, I don't know.
They shared it. I saw that Culture Shock releasing. Shit, I'll watch it. Fuck it, Meth
I
Gator.
Why not?
Maybe it's Raul. You don't know.
All right, now we have to watch
He's
it.
coming back. It's the spawn of Raul, except he's a meth head.
And then there's the fucking Kevin Smith one that's coming out at some point, Moose Jaws.
Oh, I wasn't that. That's like been talked about for a long time. No.
Yeah, it's officially coming. I think either
Oh,
this year or next year. I saw a poster. Look
there,
cool.
there you go. You guys should
Yeah,
get it.
James, you're right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying, James, you're right. That sounds like something Asylum will put out.
Oh, Mark Strauss just threw us $5. Thanks, man. Can't wait for you guys to write review with the
Thank you.
evil diets tonight. Oh, Christ Almighty, that was a funny ass comment, but sorry, Tony.
Oh my God, poor Tony.
Leave Tony alone.
All the hack offs get that one.
Oh, they sure do. Will we do? Billy Mount says, "Will we do Payback from 1999 both versions?" It's possible. It's possible. You have to understand. We have our own backlog of shit that we want to do.
I know, yeah.
You know, I mean, we're not opposed to it for sure. We do definitely. I mean, we've kind of mapped out a few months ahead. We're not completely all done scheduling, but
yeah, because we'd like to leave a little bit of wiggle room for anything that comes up.
Something we might not get to this year that I kind of want to focus a little bit more on next year, but we might throw one in this year maybe is like B action flicks, because there's so many. Like, just for instance, if you guys had watched that Stone Cold commentary track that we did with the Brian Bosworth movie, that movie's fucking batshit, and I have so many films like that, and I'm like, oh, we should do more action movies. Like, there's so many good ones.
I want to do some kung fu shit, man.
We could do some kung fu shit. We could do some Sonny Chiba shit. We can do some Shaw Brothers stuff. There's not really B movie. I mean, those are like great films, but like the kickboxer movies and like all that kind of shit. There a lot of like Don the Dragon Wilson stuff I want to cover.
I mean, like I've been saying for the longest time to Joe, not necessarily on the show, but Hard Boiled's one I would love to cover. I know it's a pretty damn popular film, but I just love that movie.
I mean, it's great. What's up, Slash Home Video? They said, is Toxic Avenger or any other Trauma classics on your list? We did Shakespeare Shitstorm for Ripe. I want to say
that was a movie. That's an interesting film.
I want to say yeah. We will do that at some point. Trauma will come back at some point for sure. When?
Every time Trauma comes up, I just think about how we have not done fucking Street Trash.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, the Street Trash would come first, right? Or no? I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, we have a little bit more of a personal connection, I would argue, between the two of us at least.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, that has a history with street trash for sure. There was something else I wanted to bring up, and I am blanking at the moment. Oh, have you seen any new stuff this past month?
Me personally,
Yeah.
ah, not really, man. I haven't been seeing shit.
Yeah.
Trying to think the last time I even went to the movies that wasn't for something that was movie dumpster related was probably the end of last year. So I probably talked about it on the last one.
Right.
I watched that Tammy Faye movie
The fuck is that? Who is
that came
that?
out a couple years ago. I don't. My wife had it
Oh.
on, and got me sucked into it. It wasn't bad, but it's not something I typically turn on.
Mhm.
It was like a biop. It was who played her? Jessica Chastain and Andrew Garfield was that piece of shit. Jim Baker,
Okay.
her husband, and who's basically this preacher that like fucking stole all this money and got in trouble and everything. It's an interesting drama about her life.
Huh.
But came out like a year or two ago. I guess that's like the most recent thing I watched. I watched Spider Verse finally.
Oh my God! You just saw it?
Um, yeah, well, you actually lent it to me like a year ago when I
You
finally
have
popped
my
it in.
Blu-ray? You fuck.
Yeah, I'll bring it over tomorrow.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was great. It was
Oh,
great.
it's so good, right?
Um, yeah, it was really good, and that's pretty much it. Everything else has been kind of movie dumpster related. I've been watching some TV.
Yeah.
Uh, Nothing in particular, just kind of things here and there. One Piece, of course, always, and trying to kind of drawing a blank. I gotta look this stuff up, Joe. I'm getting old.
It's just like again, it's like a whirlwind. I haven't had too much time, but I watched two things. I watched Ant-Man Quantumania, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, which I really liked. I thought it was fun. I don't know what the fucking big deal is about MODOK and shit like that. I thought it was funny as hell. I don't know how else you do that character, but okay. I don't know. It was a good time. It was fucking better than Thor. I'll tell you that much.
Still didn't see
I
Thor.
really like Paul Rudd. I really liked the Ant-Man character, and it was fun. It was just a good time. I think my favorite part about it was it all like most of the movie takes place in the quantum realm, which was fucking just cool to see. Um, it
I
was
heard there's moving buildings or something to that effect,
moving buildings.
or
Oh yes,
smiling
yes,
buildings or
yes,
something.
yes. There are moving buildings. I don't
That
know.
sounds fun.
It's a fun time. Like straight up. Like if you're going into that movie and expecting like fucking I don't know what, some kind of masterpiece, like you're an asshole. Like it's just a fun,
Yeah,
it's a comic book movie for Christ's sake. Can we just get over the fact that it like every time a comic book
especially Ant
movie.
Man's always leaned heavy into that shit.
Yes, and it still has that Ant-Man kind of feel, albeit, it is the quantum realm, so it's fucking it's nutty, right?
Mm.
But, it's just ridiculous to me how people are like criticizing it hardcore, and it's just like that's what those things are. They're fucking
Yeah.
they are not to say that they shouldn't be for idiots or like spoon-fed bullshit for anybody, you know what I mean? Because that kind of sucks. But it was a fun, like if you saw the other movies and you like Ant-Man character, it was fun and it was cool to see Kang.
Mm.
Kang was cool. Jonathan Majors is fucking awesome. So that was neat. Um, I don't know. It was a fun time. I had a good time. So
Yeah. Anything else that you saw recently?
yeah, we watched. There was another night that I kind of just like took five because I needed to just chill. We watched the Monster Project, which you can check out on Tubi if you want to watch it. I think it came out in 2018, 17 or 18, and it's a found footage flick.
Hmm.
And I totally forgot about it because I wanted to see it. There was that movie I wanted to see, and there was another one called like the Halloween something Hallowed Ground or Halloween or some shit. I think it. I don't want to say Jason Eisner. It wasn't Jason Eisner. It was somebody else doing it. And it was like a found footage movie with like real monsters or whatever they find in the woods or some shit. But this
Ah,
particular
that's
movie
cool.
is called The Monster Project. And it's about these two guys who do like fake like cryptid videos, which is pretty cool.
Hmm.
But then they're like, oh, we got to do something bigger, man. Like, let's put an ad out on Craigslist to find real monsters and interview people who think that they're monsters, i.e., a werewolf, a
Hmm.
vampire, possessed by a demon, what have you. So they
Hmm.
so they interview these. They rent this spooky old house in the woods, and they get these people to come and they interview these people, these monsters, quote unquote, a skinwalker, which is really
Oh, that's
cool.
kind of cool.
Yeah, and yeah, it was okay. It has a very like cabin in the woodsy type ending. Not the same thing, but type
Mm,
thing.
like
Which
in that vein.
yeah, it was all right. It was okay. It was a fine way to kill a couple hours. I thought it was fun.
Sure. So because I have a brain damage, I suppose I broke out my letterbox. So I also apparently watched the Red Queen kill 7 times. That was
7
okay. It's a
times?
giallo from the 70s.
You watched it 7 times?
Well, that's what it's called. That's what, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I watched it 7 fucking times. No, it's called that. Yeah, I was like mediocre, but I had to watch it 7 times to make
yeah,
sure.
okay,
Uh,
gotcha.
it's on Tubi. I'm going down the line. I'm starting to get down to the bottom of the barrel of the giallo. I watched all the good ones. Now I'm just seeing what's left.
Yeah.
And I watched like an okay Pam Grier movie that's on there from '75 called Sheba Baby.
Chiba Baby's
It's
good.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little slow, and I feel like she actually was like kind of phoning it in, but good action. Good
Yeah.
action.
The
Doesn't
director
hold a candle to coffee.
the director of that also, I think this is the same guy who did Grizzly, is it not?
Uh, you might be. I actually have it pulled up. Let me check
He
real
might
quick.
be. It might be the same guy. I think so.
William Girdler.
Yeah,
Yes,
pretty sure.
and Manitou.
And the Manitou. Oh my God! You want to talk about a movie that I want to do? The Manitou is up there for sure. A fucking
What's that about?
Native American medicine man is like a growth on this woman's neck and like is reborn on her neck. It's fucking insane. It's from '76, I think.
Uh, uh, oh my god, I need to see
It's
that.
awesome. It's real good. Um.
Somebody was asking. Billy Mount was asking
Have you guys ever covered
a little
any? Oh yeah,
earlier.
have you covered any? And Billy Mount says, "Have you covered any anime films on the show, or animated films on the show? Because I would love to see you cover the Swan Princess movies." No, but we want to do some, and we've been kind of talking about it. Anime stuff, but like, there's also some other animated stuff that I would like to cover, like um, I think the Ralph Bakshi stuff.
Ice and
I would like
Fire, baby, let's do it.
Fire and Ice would be a cool
Yeah,
one.
whatever.
Yeah, well, same difference.
I would love to do that.
Fritz the Cat, I would like to kind of look at and see how that does.
I feel like if we ever tackled anything Lord of the Rings related, we'd have to do
I was just
his.
gonna say that too. The Bakshi Lord of the Rings would be fun to do, or
Oh,
like
God, especially after this bullshit with WB that just got announced, that makes my head spin.
what now?
WB got the rights and they're gonna make new movies, and I'm just like, why the fuck do we need these?
That is such a fucking WB move too, right?
Yeah.
WB, get the fuck out of my face.
Let's fuck up the Arkham Knight series too.
Why not?
God help me.
I see a lot of people.
And leak more 12, I guess. I don't know
Oops.
the dance I'm doing.
Yeah, that wasn't an accident, Sean, by the way.
Mm.
They just can't keep it in their fucking pants.
I'm sure Ed Boon's fucking head tripled in
Oh,
size when he heard
sure.
that news.
He probably signed something where it was like, fuck you, Ed. We'll say whatever we want.
Yeah.
A bunch of people were mentioning Megan, too. Like, I do want to see that. I know you wanted to see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it now that's on Peacock. I kind of waited
Yeah.
because I heard a lot of people say that it was good, but it was like a lot of cutaways, so I just assumed there was gonna be an unrated. So I'm gonna watch it next week probably.
It's
If I could find a spare time moment.
in 2023, that's such a weird thing to say. Like, oh, it's the R-rated cut, and here's the unrated cut, and it's like,
I know.
you remember
Well,
how
it was
big that was, like,
PG-13.
back in the early? Yeah, I know, but you remember how like that was
Yeah,
like a
oh, yeah,
marketing scheme in the early 2000s. Was like, oh, you gotta buy the unrated DVD, the version you've never seen, extra core cut or
Yeah.
whatever. You know?
I'm sure it was definitely a case of just like they probably made way more money. It's one of those,
Yeah.
Get all the teenagers in there.
Yeah. It's
I mean, SNL did a sketch on it,
yeah. Tommy Cruise had
which was actually pretty funny.
Tommy Cruise asked if we had covered the Funhouse. No, but I picked it up last year on Blu-ray because it was the first time my wife had saw it, and like that, if you like that movie, definitely pick that up because it's a gorgeous remaster. That movie fucking rules. I think it's one of Tobe Hooper's better movies. That doesn't really get talked about a lot. That and like Eaten Alive, is really good.
Life Force.
Life Force is good. There's a lot of he's done a lot of stuff that
He's underrated.
I think so.
Kind of like seems silly to say, but
Not underrated, but his other work is
Underappreciated.
underappreciated besides
And
like
you get all these idiots online that believe that Spielberg bullshit
yeah.
with Poltergeist. It's like,
But
guys,
it's mostly
what the fuck?
most people talk about like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 and 2 and Poltergeist. And then
Sure.
the occasional oddball talks about Life Force. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But he's got some good stuff. That would be a fun deep dive into Toby's career to grab something and really pull something out that could use some more eyes on it for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
What else we got cooking in the chat here? But that's it. As far as like stuff, I haven't had a chance to really watch anything. So
Mm.
besides what we watch for the show,
The only
and
other thing I
I saw
really
Ant-Man.
the only other thing I really watched a little bit of was a little bit of like American Horror Story because my wife has been kind of like she's finished now, but she went back through a bunch of the seasons that she missed and was watching, and like most of them, they just didn't catch my interest. Plus, I was busy.
Yeah.
But I did sit through the one. What the hell was it? Apocalypse. It was
Mhm.
okay. I just felt like a big callback season where they're like, let's combine everything. And it was
Yeah.
like, all right. So I watched like half of that. And then they did like a mini series. And I watched like 2 or 3 episodes that were decent. But the rest was just kind of like, this just seems like it's ripping off other horror movies. And then like, we looked it up, and apparently all the fans of the show fucking hate this writer that's in charge of a lot of it. But there was a pretty good episode with Alicia Silverstone where like there was this lake where these well, I don't want to spoil it. There's a haunted lake. It was good, and there was one with excuse I can't remember her name, so I apologize. But the actress from Precious, and she was Queenie in season 3 of American Horror Story,
Mhm.
where she sees this like old man on her fucking ring, her ring out doorbell,
Yeah.
and it's creepy. Those two are really good if you're interested in American Horror Stories, it's called.
Well, that
But
sounds
I
good.
guess that's about it.
And like also in the interim of like coming up and down the stairs from like where I was working to
Mm.
downstairs to get like a drink or something, like my wife was or Julie was watching White Lotus. So I caught
I
some
heard
of
that's
that.
really good.
I mean, the first season it's interesting and it's shot well, but I mean, it's okay. I
Mhm.
guess.
I
And
watched the first episode.
yeah.
It seems interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing like I don't even know how to put it. It's not necessarily like a murder mystery. It is a little tense, but not for the reasons that you're thinking. It's because you don't know what the fuck is going on, and you're like, "What is going?"
Well, that even the first episode, I was like, okay, I know something weird is
Yeah,
happening because we watched it at a friend's house,
yeah,
and I was like, all right, I want to see what happens next, but I just haven't gotten around to watching it.
yeah. And then she started Russian Doll, with Natasha Lyonne, and I watched a little bit of an episode last night, and I was like, "This is pretty fucking great." Like,
Yeah,
it's like picture like Happy Death Day, but good. And there you go.
yeah,
And
that's kind of
actually
how
like
it is.
compelling. You know what I mean? Anyway,
It's got a good mystery.
uh, oh, Tony said he talked about Toby Hooper's Mortuary, not the one with Bill Paxton.
Oh,
Um,
I got
on
to
his
rewatch that
Patreon.
because
Yeah.
I don't remember if I like that or not, and I cannot remember the plot for the life of me.
Charles Lee Ray himself is in the chat. So he's asking if to review Dead Hate the Living. Man, I remember when Dead Hate the Living hit video. Like when Full Moon was just churning that shit out in the early 90s, like late 90s. I
Aren't
remember
they
the
still?
song. Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. Yes. uh Johnny said the movie Sex Drive would be a good review. Speaking of Drive, I don't know what that is, but speaking of Drive, we were talking about doing License to Drive with the Corey, the two
Oh yeah, we
Corys
were
and Heather
talking
Graham.
about
I
that.
fucking love that movie. So that would probably be something that we're gonna do soon.
Yeah,
Fewer asked if we got to do some Dragonheart with Sean Connery. Not opposed
that
to it.
movie is just okay.
Yeah.
That But I would be open to the idea.
Crazy Main asks if what we think about Cocaine Bear. We have not seen it yet. We're gonna
No.
go. I would like to go with you and Tony and have
Yes.
you
If we
know
can make that
go
work, yeah.
hang out together. I was gonna say have a date. Let's have a date, guys.
Ooh.
I'll wine and dine you, and we'll have we'll go see Cocaine Bear. But I'd like to go
Hmm.
see it with you guys. I wouldn't like rather than separately, but we'll see. We gotta hook that up.
Yeah.
Um, what else we got?
Oh,
Ed's
and on the note of Dragonheart, just real quick,
okay.
honestly, like if we were to do a movie in that vein, I'd rather just do Willow and call it a day.
Yes. Well, that's also true. Oh, hack. Tony just said White Lotus has our girl from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. We were sitting there watching. I'm like, who is that chick? And I was like, oh, that's the Go Getter Cuz girl. I was like, oh, that's Tony's woman. It's
Oh
Tony's lady.
no!
Yeah. Who's like,
Tony's crush.
by the way, she like marries this fucking asshole through the whole, like, neither of them. I don't like her arc or that fucking douchebag's arc.
Mm.
It sucks. Um, where I just saw something. Uh, uh, sorry.
James, you are right. People don't understand how big both Corys were in the 80s. Yeah, that was like a phenomenon. They were like almost as big as like Michael Jackson, you
They
know?
were well, they were hanging out with Michael Jackson. They were like you
Wow.
couldn't be stopped. That duo, man. They ruled. They did some great stuff, man. Crazy Man says what? Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I already read that because I'm stupid. Sorry, there's a lot here. Lo Wang DC says, how about a Highlander 2 theatrical cut? Maybe. I mean, Highlanders. I love that first movie. I don't know. We never really talked about doing that. Again, the thing
It
is,
might have come up like maybe once. And off that note, before you say what you're going to say,
yeah.
Joe, Gil also asked, how do you guys decide what films you review? So that's kind of in the vein, I think, of where you might have been going with that.
Oh, like how? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like how we
Yeah.
pick. Um, a lot has to do with it. It's different every time. Okay,
Mm,
so like a lot. Sometimes it's shit. I love this movie so much, and we got to talk about this. But
right.
we'll never pick a movie just because we like it. We usually pick a movie because we have something to say about it. There's a lot to talk about it. And if you go back in the in the first season, we did Bad Taste, and I remember
Second
recording
episode.
second episode. Yeah, I remember recording that episode. I don't know if you remember. And as we're talking
Mhm.
about it, and when we finished, I mean, maybe it's an entertaining episode, and you got and the fans like it. But I remember at the end of that, I was like, huh, I really like that movie, but I don't know if that's something that I really need to talk about. I mean, the most interesting part I thought was talking about like Peter Jackson and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and that movie's great. I love Bad Taste, but like in my head, it like didn't make for a good episode. But maybe who the fuck knows? I'm my worst
Yeah.
critic.
I mean, honestly, like, Meet the Feebles or, Brain Damage, or not Brain Damage, Brain Dead would probably be better movies to talk about compared to Bad Taste. But
Yeah.
second episode, we didn't know any better.
Meet the Feebles is incoming, and
We're waiting on that 4K.
we've been waiting on that fucking 4K release of Brain Dead and Bad Taste and Meet the Feebles because I need to. If we're gonna cover it, I want to see it definitively, and I
I
want
want
to
to
tell
see those
everybody.
cat tits nice and
I
clear.
want to see those fucking cat tits. I want to see I want to see that fucking aardvark's nose go in that cow's ass.
I want to hear that sodomy song in crystal clear
Yeah.
quality.
Oh yeah, it's stereo Dolby surround sound 2.0.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much. It's so fucking zany and wacky, and like I again like it's one of those things where like I would want to, or we would want to have something to let you guys experience it, i.e., like
Mm,
go get the restored version, and that's why we're covering it. Kind of push that and kind of
exactly.
if we're gonna expose you to it, once it be available for you. I mean, you can get the DVD probably, but I'm just saying.
Sure.
Yeah. Why buy it twice when you can buy the definitive version of it? You know.
Exactly. And just to add to what Joe was saying, sometimes there is because we're going for like a theme, like we just did black exploitation films
Yeah.
for Black History Month, and next month we're going to do the Thriller Cruel Picture for Women Empowerment
Yeah.
Month. But then we have like our event months, like Trick or Trash, where we do all our
Mhm.
Halloween stuff. Or Christmas, we have Trash and so it's sometimes that also obviously will influence what we're going to pick. But then like sometimes we'll pick something just because it's like, well, like we did Predator 2 and Good Burger last year because those are like kind of summer flicks or, something that's kind of cool and crisp or you do in the fall, so on
Yeah.
and so forth. Some movies you could just do whenever, doesn't matter. But that's something we like to think about also.
Yeah. And,
Like the
sorry.
mood.
Yeah. Sorry. I went off on a tangent with that. Like, I'm a big advocate of watching. Like, my wife yells at me because she's like, "I want to watch this movie." I'm like, "No, it's not time yet." It's not summertime yet. It's not Christmas time yet. It's not the time of the year yet to watch certain things. Like Puppet Master is a summer movie for me,
Hmm.
right? It's just one of
I mean,
those
I watched it
things.
around Halloween, but I could see that.
Yeah, but like the Suckling, when we did the Suckling,
Mm.
that's a summer movie for me. You know what I mean?
Like
Um,
Stepfather, you got to watch that around Father's
you
Day.
gotta watch around Father's Day because that's yeah, and like if you watch the show, you know that I'm a big advocate of like gimmick stuff. I love gimmick stuff and like pairing things up.
We both do.
Yeah. Pairing things up and I don't know, making it fun. I don't know. I mean, you could see it if you really look at the movies that we do and in relation to when they came out and what we're talking about. I mean, you can see the pattern. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's tough, and the hardest thing about it is because there's so many fucking movies that should get
Mm.
attention and are worth talking about. Um, it's hard to catch up and kind of that's the hardest thing is like picking the ones because we only have so much
Yeah.
time and all that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah,
That's why we try or at least trying not to just say, yeah, we're gonna do that movie, and then like we don't do it for 4 years.
yeah, that's a thing.
Making trying to.
I mean, if we had 1,000 emails where somebody was where not one person, but
Well,
like if everybody was like, oh, we want Chud or something like that, like well, yeah, sure, why not? But I don't think. I mean, everybody like loves recommending stuff, but if like we had an overwhelming
no, yeah.
request, I mean, that's be something we do for sure.
But we should do
Um,
Chud.
we should do Chud anyway. We've already like we've talked about Chud
We
so
talk
much,
about it
like
so much.
yeah, I know. Fuck it, just cross the bridge, and that
Yeah,
would be a super banger episode for the MDU too.
yeah.
Um, somebody said, oh,
The
Daniel
Relic,
Belcher said
RJ. Yeah, that's another one we got. We
the
do have
the
for you,
relic,
right?
yeah. Daniel Belcher said Dragon Slayer is better than Dragon Heart. You're fucking damn Skippy. I'd rather do Dragon Slayer than Dragon Heart. I love Dragon Slayer. Fucking Peter McNichols is in
I was
that.
gonna say that's the Peter McNichol one, right? When he kills the
Yeah.
babies.
Oh man, but that Parthenax or Varanac? I always forget. Not
Well,
Parthenax.
Parthenax is from Skyrim, so
Yes. So it's
Varanax.
Varanax, yes. I'm pretty sure. But the dragon effects in that are fucking incredible. I mean, like so good. Like I would
Yeah, one of the
imagine
best.
like I think about like what it would have been like if they did like a live action Lord of the Rings in the 80s and like did it like that, like Smaug like
Mm.
that. That'd be pretty fucking cool. Anyway, it's awesome. Um
Kyle, no, we have not done a Chud watch along or really anything which we just have talked about it
we
for
just yeah.
years now.
Chud is another one of those movies that's like part of like the history of Sean and I's friendship too,
True.
so it's actually very sentimental, and it's just a good movie, and it's a running joke in the show.
Yeah. John Hurd
Yeah. Dissect the Film asks if we're
and the
gonna do the
rest.
Anaconda sequel with David Hasselhoff. I don't think so, Baby Bird, but you know what? We'll come back and we'll do it with you guys.
Yeah. We'll bring the baby birds.
We'll bring Baby Birds and
Baby jaybirds.
yeah. Who else we got cooking on here? Oh, somebody asked you if you saw Parasite. I'm assuming the Bong
Parasite's
Joon-ho
great.
film. Yeah, Parasite's awesome.
I
Oh, the
actually
host I would
saw it.
love to do one day.
Host fucking rules. We
Yeah.
should do that at some point.
Mhm.
I actually saw Parasite when it came back in theaters for when they did like the Oscar nominations when they put movies back in that are nominated. So I got in like last minute to go see it. Didn't love it as much as everybody. I thought it was like a solid 4 out of 5. Like still a very good film. I didn't quite think it deserved Best Picture. But what the fuck do I know? But they all deserve it. They busted their ass in that movie, and it's cool to see that director get an Oscar and all the shit that happened after that, where he looked like he didn't care at all. Was kind of hilarious.
Daniel Belcher says, the only movie I'll ever suggest you guys do is my continued support for Dr. Giggles. That was supposed to be on the schedule. Maybe it
And that
still is.
Blu-ray came
Who the
out.
fuck knows? I think it comes out this month. It comes out March, right? I don't know if possible.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like let's see what happens. Let's play
yeah.
that. Let's play that one by ear. But we do love that movie very much. Uh,
Larry Drake.
Joel Lennon says, watch Munchie every what or when? Munchie's definitely a summer movie for me, but we should do a watch along of Munchie at some point. That would be fun to do.
Yes, we have talked about things around Munchie behind the scenes that we're not
Mhm.
ready to reveal in that capacity. But when we do, we have dabbled with that
Yes.
concept.
What's up, Derek? Mushy
Munchie
mushy.
related stuff. Reanimator, I've only Lo Wang, I've only seen the first one myself. I've always wanted to watch Bride, but just never actually put it on. First one's amazing. It's 5 out of
That's the
5.
thing. Like,
Classic.
I don't think we should review Reanimator. If we're gonna do Reanimator, we should do like Beyond Reanimator, because that one's like the
Mm.
black sheep of the bunch. But I would love to do like Lurking Fear. That would be another good one I would want to
Mm.
do, because we've already done an adjacent one with Bleeders, so it's like the actual
Oh,
Lurking
yeah.
Fear story, but not really.
Oh, and we could actually talk about Bleeders a little in that, which might be interesting.
Yeah, Vermithrax. Thanks, Dan. Um, Carl Redbird says Dragon Slayer has the best TNA with that underwater shot. I'm not gonna argue. Uh,
How could I forget?
Charles Lee Ray answered Clown House. Um, I could talk
We've
up.
talked. Is that Victor
Yeah,
Salva?
it's the Victor Salva movie with the the infamous.
The one that got him in
Yeah,
trouble.
I don't know. Maybe that's a mini for Patreon or something like that. I mean, who knows? I'm not gonna. I don't think trying to sit there and defend the movie for an hour makes any sense to do. I think it's a scary movie, and all of the stuff surrounding it makes it even creepier. Um, I don't know. Probably not.
Listen, I
Probably not
wouldn't be
touch it.
opposed to the idea.
Yeah.
It'd be impossible not to talk about that.
Well, that's the other thing too, and like for instance too, like I really want to talk about the Twilight Zone movie because I think that film is fucking excellent. And of course,
I think
but I want to talk about it without. I mean, everybody knows the story. Everybody knows what happened to Vic Morrow and how awful it was, and fuck John Landis and all that bullshit. But John Landis is not the only person involved with that film. So Joe Dante and
oh, yeah.
George Miller, and
John
John
Lithgow.
Lithgow. Yeah, but it would be such a shame. I think it's a shame that more people don't watch that movie in particular, because I mean it is fucked
Right.
up and like all that shit is horrible, but like it's such a great film. Like it really is.
Mm.
It's a great anthology movie. Um,
No, I agree. Haven't seen it in forever,
yeah.
but I do remember enjoying it.
But
Mark, thanks again with the $5
yeah,
super
thanks,
chat
man.
saying just borrow the Buchanan if you have to, so you can review everything on your list, please. And thank you. I need that time turner from
I
Hermione.
wish, right, John? John shooting us into fucking different realities and timelines to make
Oh
sure we
my
get it all
god.
done. I mean, I would
I don't
love
know. I
to.
saw it. I saw what happened in that fucking March of the Wooden
Oh,
MDU, whatever the hell we called it.
March of the
Fucking Ollie ended
MDU.
up with a hole in his stomach.
It's true. You were saved, though. You were saved. Granny Van Dam fixed you
Yeah,
right up.
well, that's true.
um,
Polly, that wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Low Wang DC. Yeah, Bride of Reanimator is fucking incredible. I actually have, in that movie, David Gale's head comes back and it has like bat wings. Um, and John Carl Beekler did all the effects for it. And I have one of the wings from the animatronic David Gale head, like from
Wow.
MMI. I got it in an auction or something like a long time ago. With that, that Freddy standee I have, Sean, part
Yeah,
4.
yeah, yeah.
That's from MMI Studios as well.
Ah.
Uh, bu- 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 bu-
Tony L. Yeah, we got to do the Burbs at some point. It's a classic.
Tony's like, oh, come on, I'll come on the episode of Twilight Zone and be like that guy who doesn't know about the helicopter thing.
I
God
mean,
damn it.
that would actually be kind of funny, honestly.
Yeah. Um, Johnny Browning says, are you both looking forward to Mel Brooks' History of the World Part 2? What do you want to take that one first? What do you think?
I'm kind of like Gene Wilder's fucking Hand and Blades and Saddles. I'm not really sure. Yeah,
But you shoot with this one, yeah.
I'll give it a chance at least. I don't know if I'll watch it right when it comes out, but the trailers did not sell me on it. Mel, in interviews, has sold me on it, but the trailers, I'm just like, a lot of funny people are in this. Like, Wanda Sykes is fucking hilarious, but this is just kind of not hitting me at all. So, like I said, I'll watch the first part or episode or whatever the fuck it's gonna be, and we'll see.
I'm very
I don't think they should
concerned.
have made it personally, but
I agree with you. Like the whole joke is that it's part 1. Uh,
yeah,
that's like making a Spaceball sequel now. I don't think it would work. Well, obviously it wouldn't work. John Candy or bust. I'm
no,
sorry. Um,
right.
I feel the same way you do, where it's like, here's all of these funny people. It's like a Pluto Nash situation. All these funny people, but this shit isn't funny. And it's like,
Right.
oh, geez. I don't know. I didn't laugh at all during the previews, but that doesn't mean it's not gonna not be good.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll check it out. I guess it
Again,
looks like
not in a,
it looks more like drunk history vignettes, right?
with better production and actual
Yeah,
actors.
yeah.
Yeah. And no Tony from Act the movie.
Well, no, there are actual actors. That's the whole thing with drunk history is somebody
No.
gets
Oh yeah.
they get actor.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And that's kind of what just like what it looks like to me. Are
And
we
Dan, you're
RJ
right.
asks? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say just Daniel's right, and no B. Arthur. It doesn't make Excuse me. Let me reread that. Without B. Arthur, history of the world is nothing, and I agree with that. No,
Yeah.
you got no Munchie either. What the fuck's his name? Dom DeLuise
Dom
either.
DeLuise, yeah. Um,
And you don't have Mel Brooks, who's also in that movie and is funny as shit, dancing around like a motherfucker during the Spanish Inquisition scene.
The Inquisition.
Oh,
What
that's
a
a
show.
classic.
I mean, that's just hilarious. Is that going to be in that? I don't know. Probably not.
It'll probably be a shittier version of it.
I still think the best thing the last greatest thing that Mel Brooks did was Robin Hood Men in Tights, and that's it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
right
it's
there.
classic.
RJ says, "Are you guys going to do a ripe review of Scream 6?" You know what? It's possible. I'm not going to say yes, but it's possible. I am going to see it, and that will be the first time I was seen a Scream movie in the theater since Scream 2. And
I
I'm
think of the New
curious.
York setting, maybe.
Well, here's the thing. I've said many times that I'm just not a fan of Scream. Not that I think Scream is bad or that you can't like it or you should hate yourself for liking it or whatever. I just don't think it's good. Okay. I think 2 is the best movie out of the franchise. In my opinion, 5
Oh yeah.
I watched because I wanted to see what they were gonna do. Because I was hoping that they'd kill Sydney, but they didn't. It's not a spoiler.
Still didn't watch it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it, but I'm just saying they don't.
No, yeah.
She doesn't die. And that is it. I felt like that was the
Mm-hmm.
wall for what they could do. By bringing people back and doing the legacy sequel or whatever. Scream
Mm-hmm.
6 is kind of a different animal because I hope that it's going full fucking bonkers, and I got my fingers crossed that at the end of that I hope Sydney dies right in the beginning. This is what's going to make the movie for me. Sydney dies right in the beginning, right? I love Drew Barrymore because fuck you. That would piss off a lot of people, but like I would be like, fucking
so you think
bravo.
she
I
actually
can't
is in
believe
it
I
and this
can't
is-
believe you did it. Yeah, I think she's in it. That's bullshit. Of course she's in it. She's not a moron. But they're keeping it under wraps, I think. But
and saying that she didn't sign on and all this bullshit.
Yeah, come on. Yeah,
I
sure.
kind of was thinking that too, and then like with all the bad press they got, and they never said anything. I'm like, oh, maybe she actually isn't in it.
I think it's a ruse, man. Or maybe I could be wrong, but the icing on
find
the
out
cake,
soon.
the fucking that's what I would love so much is if they brought Stu back. Like he didn't die from the first
Matthew
one,
Lillard? Oh god.
or like he was a fucking zombie or something. I don't know. I'm all aboard for that shit in New York. Like I don't know, man. Sign me up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think
it's giving me a vibe that I'm like I kind of want to see
Sure.
that. It's not in what is it, Woodsboro or wherever they are.
Wow. Yeah. The
You know?
trailer really got me hooked on it. I mean,
Yeah.
I like all the movies. Again, I bought 5 a while ago. I just
Yeah.
have yet to watch it for some reason, but I'm going to watch it before the new one comes out. I'm
has
excited
me-
for it. I like Scream a lot.
I know you do. It has me intrigued, so that might. I mean, why not? Maybe. What else we got?
I definitely think the first one and maybe fourth one are probably my favorites, though.
Yeah.
Just if anybody cares.
I think 2 is good. Like I think it's the
2
most-
is classic.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm also one of those weirdos that actually likes 3 because I kind of feel like I like how it's just like fuck it. It's just ridiculous
Yeah.
because it's the third one and it's leaning into all that. Even if part of that was because the killer got leaked, so they changed it and all that shit. But whatever.
Yeah, and that kind of sucks because of that.
Yeah.
Dan Yulbelter asks if is it wrong that I actually like Deep Star 6 more than Leviathan? No, I like Deep Star 6 too. I don't know if it's better than Leviathan. I mean, in my opinion, but I mean, yeah, you can like Deep Star 6 better. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think they're both good movies, but I'm a sucker for Peter Weller and dude, you got Peter Weller, you got Daniel Stern, Ernie Hudson, Meg Foster,
Oh, God.
with effects by Stan Winston. I mean, you can't beat it. And I think Doug Bradley's in it for like a hot second. Um, Ty said, I'm in for the new Scream. I kind of love Jenna Ortega. You know, I hated her in Scream 5. I hated her character.
Mm.
I actually came around to her because I really liked her character in X. I thought she was good in that.
Yeah, that movie's great. That's another one I bought Pearl. I gotta watch that and get ready for the new one.
Haven't seen Pearl yet, so we'll see. Maxine, is that the new one? Yeah.
Yeah, I like the concept.
Um WSTML 555 says 5555 555 555. It says Escape from LA is lame, or I don't like. You don't like
Oh,
Escape
because
from
somebody
LA?
else,
Oh yeah. Oh, somebody
because
else.
Lo Wang had asked in
Yes.
the chat which is better, Escape from New York or L.A. I've
I'm
actually
sorry.
never seen either of them.
Dude, it's New York, straight up. Like New York is great. It was such a different film for the time. Not that LA is like the it's hokey, it's fine. It's fine. But New York is the superior film. In my
Is that
opinion.
Carpenter?
Yeah, it's Carpenter. I think they're both Carpenter. Um Mark Strauss says, I enjoyed Wednesday. I was worried it was going to be too orientated to kids, but it was pleasantly surprised. I watched the first 2 episodes, and it just was not for me. Um,
Mm.
it was like Harry Potter meets, uh, Harriet the Spy. I don't need it. Um, it's for
I heard it was in
it's
the
for
vein of like.
teenage girls or kids. You know what I mean? It's not for me.
Mm, I heard it was like in the vein of like the
Or
Sabrina
Sabrina,
reboot a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah. It's that with like it's like a new coat of paint with Sabrina and Harry Potter. Yeah.
Mm. I heard good things, but I didn't watch it myself.
Yeah. You out of here, Johnny? Have a good night, man. Have a great weekend.
Take it easy, man.
Uh, Fior says, "Oh, Joe and Sean, hear me out. I know you guys are not the biggest Terminator Genesis fans, but I felt there was a good idea in there and just not present at times." Fior, uh,
Go
no.
back and listen to our Terminator Salvation episode where
That
we
kind of
shit on that movie
that
hardcore.
kind of says everything. I mean, yes, it kind of has a good idea, but like, I just don't need it.
I
Like,
don't need
they were
it.
trying to
It's like
salvage.
fan fiction.
Yeah, exactly. It's bad slash fiction, and like, you know, they were trying to.
Slash fiction.
Oh
Is
yeah,
there like a porno scene I missed in there somewhere?
yeah. You must mate. You don't remember that part?
Yeah, you're right. Oh my god, that was so
It's the
stupid.
Terminator trying to get Sarah Connor and
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Kyle Reese
yeah.
to fuck. The
Oh, yeah.
movie. You know, it's kind of it's like a fan fiction thing because it's like, well, what if this happened and what if this happened? It's like that's kind of
They
cool.
make John Connor the bad guy, and it's just dumb.
Look, you can like it all you want. I'm not a fan. I think again,
Yeah.
I on that Terminator Salvation episode, it should have began and ended at T2, Terminator and Terminator 2, and if you want it, Terminator Salvation is T3
Yep.
definitively.
Totally agree.
Bu- 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 bu. Glenn Harris says, "Movie dumpster. Name a remake that was actually better than the original. The Thing, The Blob,
Wow. Yeah, agree on both.
The Fly.
Granted, both those are yeah. And there you go.
Don't
All the originals are also good, by the way.
not that I don't like those movies, but like the jump from Atomic Age to contemporary horror with the 3 of those films
Mm,
is like the trifecta. It's like the brilliance thereof. Like that's the only way you could do it. I think I explained that somewhere else where it was like on another episode where it's like the jump from the Atomic Age stuff and the 50s stuff to the 80s horror, contemporary gore laden, completely different style of filmmaking and aesthetic works for
yeah.
that transition. When you like, albeit I like the My Bloody Valentine 3D remake, but like there's not much of a difference between My Bloody Valentine 1981 and My Bloody Valentine what is it, 2008 or something like that.
I mean, the kills are a little different, but yeah, I get what you're
No,
saying.
but my
The
point
plot
is
remains the same.
the filmmaking and the shock value of like the gore
Mm.
and all of that kind of stuff. When you had like again between the Blob and the Fly and the Thing, those transitions
Uh,
to the 80s
mm,
style is enough to make them not only completely different movies but completely different and enjoyable movies, but where you can still, you're not really comparing them. Like I don't compare the Blob 88 to the Blob 50, what is it, 55 or
No,
54,
nah.
because like they're two completely different eras of filmmaking and
Yeah.
horror movies or sci-fi horror, whatever you want to call them. So in that instance, it works for me, and
Mhm.
I think in my selfish opinion, I think all three of those movies are better than the originals, but I still love the originals very much.
No, I feel the same way, and a couple other ones people mentioned in the chat, Kefka Fanatic, love that name, by the way, Kefka rules. Uh, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, now, that's one I would argue they're equally as good, because I like the original a lot, but
Yeah,
also the one with Leonard Nimoy and Donald Sutherland is fucking
Kevin
amazing.
McCarthy's in the original.
Um, mm. That's, like, one of those movies that every remake and there's the one with, what Chase Meridian, I can't believe I can't remember the actual actress's name, holy shit.
Oh,
Nicole
Nicole Kidman.
Kidman.
Yeah.
I remember being actually pretty good too. Not as good as the other 2 versions, but decent.
It's not bad. I
Um,
the dog with the human face and all that.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Ty says Dawn of the Dead. I mean, that remake is good, but I don't think it holds a candle to the first one personally.
um, I think it's very.
It's a good modern update.
Yeah, I think it's very well done. And James Gunn wrote
I
that one. I remember loving it when it came out.
It was a smart
Yeah.
decision to make the zombies fast, to make that element different characters that you didn't really see in the original, and just really ratchet up the tension hardcore by making them constantly going in after him. And
Also
then
true.
I also like the stuff in that movie with the guy across the street. It's kind of cool. It's a good movie, but the first one is so good. In the mall, oh my god.
I mean, yeah. I mean, well, they're in the mall in the remake too, but like, I mean,
No, I know.
it's one of the quintessential zombie films of all time.
It just
Uh,
feels more atmospheric. I feel like in the original to me.
oh, big time. Well, okay, because of the way that Dawn of the Dead is. I mean, that's 70s. It's 78, isn't it?
Sounds right. I don't know the exact number off my
Yeah,
head.
Dawn of the Dead is it's right on the cusp, or 79. It's right on the cusp of the
Mm.
80s. So it hasn't even transitioned to the 80s yet. So it still has that 70s film feel where
Oh yeah.
it I mentioned the 50s, but like even the 60s too, that jump from the 70s to the 80s, the early 80s, like 82 onward, or yeah, 1980. It's a different style of filmmaking and it's a different style of horror. So whereas Dawn of the Dead was bloody and stuff, particularly since what we've seen up to that point, with the exception of like Herschel Gordon Lewis shit, um, the Dawn of the Dead remake, I would put it in the same category as saying like the Blob 88 and Blob 50, whatever, 56, 55, whatever it is. Do you see what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like
Yeah, oh yeah,
it's
100%.
removed enough filmmaking wise where it kind of feels like the same way.
And generally speaking, I mean, I feel like those are the remakes I like. The
Mm-hmm.
ones that are one to one or trying to do something like you can do something different, but then you have like not to go down this road, but like stuff like Ghostbusters 2016 where they just totally missed the fucking
Well,
point.
that
Where
was
it's
a
just like then
mistake.
it's like what are you even doing? Or like the Planet of the Apes remake with Mark Wahlberg that was fucking horrible. Like stuff like that. It's like why did you even bother? But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's actually really good. So
100%. Lo Wang said
and speaking of, oh, go ahead,
Evil Dead
sorry.
2 is better than Evil Dead. That really doesn't count. I mean, Evil Dead 2 is my favorite out of the original 3, but
Yeah, me too.
it doesn't really count because like Evil Dead was made for nothing and became a phenomenon. And then they were like,
Right.
"Hey, do it again, but here's a budget." Basically. Then it'll be like this wide
Yeah,
release
yeah,
thing at the time, but I mean, the original still it's the classic, the horror classic, man.
yeah. I was gonna say though, when you were talking about that transition from like decade to decade with
Yeah.
filmmaking, I mean, you're talking about horror, but like we were talking about that on the Disco Godfather episode with Rudy Ray Moore. Like he couldn't break out of the '70s. It
Yeah.
was like once the '80s hit, he was like fucking done. Dead in the water.
Well, to your point, the way that they transitioned those horror movies into a new contemporary version thereof, or like retelling, whatever you want to call them.
Mm,
How do you do that with Dolomite? You know what I mean? Like, how do you like that character so
right.
very
Yeah.
specific to that time period? It's like, oh, well, of course it doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I still think
It's lightning in a bottle.
made it work, but I don't know. I don't think
At least early '80s, I could have seen him maybe squeeze one more out, but I guess it wasn't working for him.
if Dolomite fought a monster, Like if they did another PD
He should have fought some
Ristra,
fucking zombies.
yeah, like Dolomite versus zombies or something, like a zombie outbreak. I think that would have did really well in the early '80s. I would have fucking saw it.
That would have been
That would have
hilarious.
been
Him
fucking
and Ernie
insane.
Hudson beating up zombies.
Holy shit! Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, James, that would have been great if Savini had the fucking cock gun from Dusk Till Dawn and Dawn of the Dead. He's fucking shooting zombies' heads off with that
Oh my
thing.
god! Like taking him and fucking.
Yeah. But you know he's also gonna get killed in a horrible way, just like in that
And
film.
it's also
Well, in
true.
both films, technically.
Yeah. Um.
Although I do, even though I don't like the movie Land of the Dead, I did think it was kind of funny when he's fucking walking around as a zombie still.
Did you see Island of the Dead or whatever?
I didn't know
That
that was a
last one
thing.
that he did. Yeah, it's called like Island
Was
of the
that
Dead.
Romero?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god!
Because
I guess I should at
he
least
did
watch it just for the
he
hell of
did
it.
Land of the Dead, he did Diary of the Dead, and then he did Island of the Dead or whatever.
Hmm.
And Island of the Dead was just like you couldn't pay me to watch that again.
It's a shame, man, because it's like he used to do so many diverse things back earlier in his career, but I guess got to make a buck when
It was
at,
making
at,
money,
at that
dude.
point. Yeah, that
I
was
would have
definitely towards the end, unfortunately.
he did Two Evil Eyes with Dario Argento, which we should probably cover. That would be a lot of fun. That's an anthology movie. But I think if he squeezed out one more anthology, I think that would have been good.
Mm. I mean, he's got the all-timer under his belt, so.
Also true. Ryan Mantha says, nice to catch these guys live. Started watching after seeing them in hockey movies, and now they're my go-tos. Thanks for hanging out, and we appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying the show.
Yeah.
What else do we have cooking here, guys? Guys, gals, everything in between.
RJ, what about Inglourious Bastards? It's great. What do you want us to say?
It's awesome.
It's fucking great.
I mean, like doing a Quentin movie.
That's one, for example, I wouldn't want to cover on the show because like I love that movie, but I feel like I really don't have a ton to say other than just like reading the Wikipedia and be like, then this happens, and this, like I mean, we can make jokes, we're funny good people, but I feel like I'd be forcing that like nobody's business, man.
We can make it work, but I'd rather expose everybody to something that they haven't seen or like is less talked
obviously
about.
That's a factor too.
No, but like I don't know. Yeah, they're good. Like every Quentin movie's good. Like straight up. I don't really have any exact like Sean said. Like I don't have much to say either, except they're awesome.
The only Quentin movie I would even consider, and I still don't think we should do it, is maybe like a Jackie Brown or Kill Bill. Maybe.
Maybe, but my I guess my point is there's so much like I'd rather talk about the movies that influence those movies. Like I'd rather do the Lady Snowblood movies before I did Kill Bill. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Those movies are fucking great.
I'm saying if we had gun to our head, you're doing a Quentin Tarantino movie. Those are the only two I feel like I could be like maybe.
Well, yeah, sure.
But yeah, you're right. I do agree with you though.
Kevin Burke, thanks so much, dude. Thanks for the
hey, thank you.
Thanks for the 5 spot. Ty said Death Proof is meh. You know, I remember seeing Grindhouse
a lot.
I remember seeing Grindhouse in the theater, and that was such a fucking amazing experience to see that with all the trailers and stuff in the middle, and how they kind of like brought that back and recreated Rodriguez and Tarantino. But when you put Planet Terror before Death Proof, they fucked up big time. Because like after that like insane roller coaster ride, it just didn't hit me, and like I was like, this kind of is boring. But going back and watching it without doing the double feature, I like Death Proof a lot. I think it's very good.
It's just
a different kind of movie. Like they're so contrasting, and I guess that was the point. But like, I don't know, they're not very close together in tonally at all. And I think that it's a good thing, but a bad thing.
Yeah. Like Planet Terror, like gets your adrenaline pumping pretty much from beginning to end, and then it's like Death Proof. It does, but it takes like an hour to get there because it's a major slow burn. Which is why that movie does work. But yeah, you're 100% right. It's like, whoa, this took me totally out of it.
Yeah. WSTML 555 says no Reservoir Dogs.
I do like that movie. Actually,
I love Reservoir Dogs, and that was the jump off. I don't know. The thing. Again, I'm gonna say it one more time. I love Quentin Tarantino's movies, but they are products of the films that he has watched and kind of cultivated and grew up with and experienced. And I feel like watching a Quentin Tarantino movie without knowing that is an experience
Mm,
in itself and a different kind of experience than if you know where the films come from or where the film is pulling from rather.
yeah.
And I'd rather talk about the films that inspired Quentin than the films of Quentin Tarantino. Not that I wouldn't
No, I
do it as like
100% agree.
not on our show, put it that way. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, the Black Cat is great too. Reign of Rot.
Hey, what's up, Dusty? I saw you went to Cocaine Bear. We're gonna be seeing it
Yeah,
soon.
that's awesome. What's up, brother? Uh,
Fury, definitely. I actually haven't seen Hateful Eight myself either. There's two different versions of it. I think it was on Netflix for the longest time. You could watch it like in parts. It's like the extended version. I've heard that's the way you should watch it if you have the time. But Inglorious Bastards is just if you don't know how the story pans out, just don't look it up. Just fucking watch it, or else you're gonna be mad at yourself. Just put it
what are
on.
we
It's
what are we
great.
talking about?
Inglorious Bastards, like don't look up the
Oh
plot. Like
no, yeah,
go in blind. Like all you need to know, they're killing
yeah.
Nazis. Just watch it.
And again, like and like people are like, oh Django. When you say Django, people go, oh that Quentin Tarantino movie. No, Django with um. Oh my god, I can't believe it just Franco Nero.
or
You know what I
yeah,
mean? And it's
right.
like,
Or Sukiyaki Western Django, obviously.
yeah, well, that was still a nod to
Kidding.
to the Franco Nero movies, the spaghetti
No, yeah,
westerns,
yeah.
and those movies with and Franco Nero was in Django Unchained. Um, I mean, like, I'd rather talk about that because then you could talk about
Mm,
Django Unchained and be like, well, this is what Quentin did with the story and how he updated it, and I fucking love that movie. I mean, it's excellent. Um, but I'd rather talk about the thing that you might have not seen, you know.
yeah.
Um,
The thing he's riffing off
yeah,
of.
well, yeah, the things that inspired him to make a
Mm.
movie, from that, you know.
Like speaking of like Kill Bill, that like kind of what we were talking about a little bit earlier in the stream, those like old B action movies, those low budget, samurai films,
Mhm.
kung fu
Yeah,
movies,
like we have
either whether they're in America or Asia or from anywhere all over the world, they're fucking
like we
great.
haven't done any Sho Kosugi movies, and like I would love to do Pray for Death. Like that would be fucking awesome. That's a good one. Um,
I've been saying it to you. We got to do some Jackie Chan on this
I would
show,
love to do some
man.
Jackie Chan. Yes, I think Rebel in the Bronx might be a really good one to do because of just to get the
I
feet wet.
still wish. Yeah, I still wish there was a way to get that uncut version.
Exactly.
It's a son of a bitch to find. If anybody in the chat actually knows, like, fucking DM us, because I've been looking for that for years.
I would do.
The Cantonese version,
I would want to do that version. Um,
because the plot is slightly different because there's scenes cut in the American version.
yes. Um, there was something I wanted to read. Where the fuck is it? Cat's RJ Godzilla says Cat's Eye, baby. I definitely want to do Cat. We've mentioned Cat's Eye a couple times, and yeah, that one's on the list for sure. We've been doing a lot of anthologies, so maybe not this year, but maybe next year. Definitely at some point,
Mm.
Cat's Eye's getting covered for sure. Um,
Yeah, RJ Police Story, another classic Jackie Chan.
yeah,
He's got so many good
I mean,
movies. I could
Police
sit here
Story
and
is
list them
fucking
off all
killer,
day.
man. Uh,
At the ending, when he fucking falls through that glass, oh my
yeah.
god, it's so awesome. How this man is alive is beyond me.
um, yeah. So yeah. I don't know if you guys have any more questions you want to ask us. Is there anything? Is there any burning things you want to know or bullshit about? Because we're gonna start wrapping
I
it up
saw
soon.
Kevin Burke said they've really been enjoying Talks on the Dark Side. Just wanted to say hi.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks. We're glad you're liking it.
Glad you're
We said
enjoying
a
it.
little earlier in the show. Next week we're taking a break. We're gonna have our Shin Ultraman episode taking the Tuesday slot, but we got more coming.
Yeah, we're gonna be just for anybody that came in late. We're pushing talks back 1 week. We have the episodes are there. We're just pushing it back 1 week so we can fit everything into February that we wanted to. As
Hmm.
far as like mainline episodes go. So Shin Ultraman coming at you for Tuesday. And then talks will be regular schedule programming the following Tuesday.
Ryan asked what's on the horizon for the channel. We actually talked about it at the front of the show, so as soon as this is over, just watch the first 10 minutes
Yeah.
and you'll know.
Yeah.
But we'll be posting about it
Yeah, we're
soon.
gonna be posting that soon. We got it's Women History Month is March, so we like to do that like just like we do Black History Month with all of the black exploitation stuff that we covered for February. So we're gonna do Thriller Cool Picture, and we're gonna do a watch along a coffee for that, and then we're gonna have, of course, our St. Patty's Day stuff, for that. So we're cooking a couple different things, for you.
Yep.
So yeah. Um. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say, Sean? Is there anything you want to talk about?
Uh, not really.
No.
I mean, I'll answer this last question that James asked, since we were just talking about Tales from the Dark Side or Talks from the Dark Side. Asking, will it lead to a Tales from the Dark Side movie review? Yes, that has always been the
Always been the
plan.
plan.
Once we get through the whole series, and then we will continue on to Monsters, and then eventually Tales from the Crypt, and then whatever the fuck else comes after that.
Yes.
One step at a
One
time.
thing at a time. Yeah. So yeah. And Rain of Rod says, can we get any time frame on when we might see CB back? Soon.
Ooh, actually, that's a good question that you may want to hold on to for like 30
Just put a
days.
pin in that, okay? CB's coming back,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. He will be on this year. Dan Belcher says Women's Month deserves a Pam Grier movie. We're doing a watch long of Coffee for Patreon.
Yes. Which we did cover back in season 4. So
Mhm.
definitely, if you haven't heard that episode, as we get closer, definitely give it a
Oh,
listen if you
100%.
want to get some backstory on the film.
Mm-hmm. Mark Strauss says, yeah, use your guys' time to spread the word on less known stuff. Already learned about a lot of new ones from the 80s from you guys. Tarantino gets plenty of exposure. Well, thanks, Mark. I mean, I'm glad.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're
Yeah,
doing.
and somebody said something along before I missed it, and now it's gone like a fucking like dust in the wind. But that we feel like we're bullshitting in a movie store or a video store or something. So that's
Hmm.
like the highest compliment I could get personally.
Yeah, thank you.
So I mean that's what we love to do. I mean that's why we do the show, because we love movies and we love talking about wacky shit and finding new stuff and kind of not, I guess, critiquing, but like it's fun to examine all the stuff, you know. Uh,
Raina Rot says also, just I was going to read this one because it may be relevant at some point. If you somehow skip the Batman Forever review with Joe, myself, and his wife Julie, where I was dressed up like the fucking diddler, I lost the thought. Adding my own insert jokes to his comment. Definitely go watch it. They say one of the best episodes to date. Well, really appreciate that. That was a really fun one to do. That was an early one from last year. Uh, it was a hell of a fucking episode.
Thanks. Um, who wins, Casey Jones or Jason? It's gonna be Jason.
Jason.
What else we got? Women's Month Attack of the
Raphael's gonna be yelling, "Damn!"
RJ said, Women's Month Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, Wasp Woman, or Bride of Frankenstein. Yeah.
Wasp Woman would be an interesting
Yeah.
one to do one day.
Yeah. We were gonna do I Spit on Your Grave this year, but we decided to do Thriller instead. Um, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, you got it, Lo Wang DC. I mean, that's what this is. Hanging out with everybody and answering questions and just general bullshitting and letting you guys know what's cooking and just hanging out, you know. We like to, this is for we like to do this once a month for the public, because we get to do this with Patreon as well in a different setting. So Joe got choked up talking about his love for Tales from the Hood. Y'all can review any damn thing you want after seeing that. Respect. Y'all have a good night. Well, thank you. I mean, I love that movie very much. So, but
Oh, and Daniel did ask a random question. What Jason mask got on the wall there behind you, Joe?
can you see a Jason mask? That
Or maybe
this right
specifically
here.
from the
This
episodes.
right here is Casey Jones, and then I have a Jason mask like right above that. It's from part 3. It was done by this guy in like 2009, this Faces of Death Productions, who was doing all of the Jason masks at the time. So I got his part 3 barn version, and it's signed by pretty much every Jason. I think I'm only missing a couple. House of Fewer says, if you like Jaws, please watch Jaws. Somebody sent us Jaws for we on one of our junk mail. Somebody sent it to us like to watch.
Oh
We have
my
it,
god!
so
Now we have to.
so coming at you on Patreon at some point. And like again, like I want to tell you guys too. Like we always say this because we're wrapping up here, but like we're trying to get as much stuff to you guys as possible, and much extra content too as possible, and like we're getting there, right? We're getting to the point where
Oh
we
yeah.
can start producing more content, and the more the show grows and the more support we have, the more things we can do. So that's exciting. So we're trying to do as much as we possibly can with the time we have at the current moment, and we're looking forward to doing more stuff as we get more time to do it. So there's a lot of movies to cover. There's a lot of things to talk about. There's a lot of movies to watch and cover.
Yes.
So a lot of series too.
In fact, in fact, there's a movie I need to watch in preparation
Yes,
for
we both do.
recording
We
tomorrow.
both do.
Speaking of,
But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with us on this Saturday night. We hope you had fun. And we hope that you have a great weekend and everybody's happy and healthy and kicking it and chilling and doing whatever you're doing. Um, and yeah, we will see you next week with some new content. We'll see you Tuesday for Shin Ultraman, and then check out the Instagrams and the social medias and shit, and you'll see when all this stuff is coming out from March, and people that were also going to be on their show, so you'll know when to watch
yes,
everything. So very very soon. And yeah, we'll keep you posted. And thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for watching the show. Thanks for hanging in there for so long. All the new people. Thanks for coming and giving us a chance. Everybody that's been here since the beginning. Thank you so much for all your support. And yeah, and we love you. And thank you so
yeah,
much. Like
you
it's
help make the show.
yeah. We again we've said this before, but like we couldn't do the show anymore without your support. Like straight up, you're keeping the show
Seriously.
going. So yeah, thank you so much, and we're glad that you enjoy listening to us talk and bullshit. So yeah. Do you have anything else you want to say, Sean?
I'm good. I hope everybody has a great night, and I guess if you're listening to us later, have a great whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and stay tuned because we're gonna be posting the replay of the Don't Be a Menace watch along. That'll be on Patreon.
Oh, on
So yeah,
Patreon.
so if you're
Yes.
on Patreon and you missed it, the replay will be up soon this week. But
Right.
yeah, yeah. Everybody have a great night. Thanks so much for hanging out, and we will catch you soon. And have a great weekend.
Take it easy.
We'll see you.